Holy Grail is the neck and the head. The ancients traveled across the world to find the Holy Grail. This journey to find the Holy Grail is symbolic of going within the self. They did not travel across lands to find the Holy Grail. Holy Grail is an inward journey of gaining the sacred knowledge of what you truly are. The cup is filled with light. Light is symbolic of knowledge. When someone's very smart, you call them bright. Illuminati is illumination of the mind. It's information of the self. The quest to find the Holy Grail is about finding the light within, gaining information about the self. Ancient knowledge is hidden behind allegory. Lust is an illusion. This is what Lucifer is. This is the sigil of Lucifer. This is your brain's visual field. Lucy means light. Fer means bring. Your eyes are the light bringer that allows you to see physical reality. You are a soul in a physical body. The physical world is a simulation produced by your nervous system. Lucifer represents the beauty of the world. Something that looks beautiful and appears to be good. It pulls you in, but leads you to something evil and dark. Lucifer is something that seduces you, appears to be good, but slowly corrupts you into darkness. It looks like the light, but it takes you into darkness. Circles are feminine, lines are masculine. This is present in the human body. Undeniable proof that everything is an intelligent design. The Egyptians knew this. The rod with a curve represents feminine. The rod with a line represents masculine. Crossing the masculine and feminine rods together represents unity of masculine and feminine energies of consciousness. The Freemasons show you the same thing. Compass creates circles, feminine. Square creates lines, masculine. Unity of masculine and feminine energies of consciousness. Aligning the left and right brain. Aligning actions with intuition. Mastery over spirit and matter. It's all the same symbolism, merging the masculine and feminine energies of consciousness. And this is what allows you to reach a higher consciousness, a higher understanding of yourself. Why is it Jesus does this hand gesture? The halo represents the mind. The heart represents emotion and love. Two fingers are unified, not separate. It represents unifying the mind with the heart. If you think with the love of the heart, it gives birth to perfect actions. This is how we create heaven on earth. If everyone thought with the love of their heart for the self and one another, we would all give birth to perfect action, and we would all live in peace without a government. You are Jesus, everyone is God, and love is the unifying force that brings us together. We don't need man-made laws. The law of love is already within us. Earth is meant to be a school and not a prison. And the reason we come to this earth is to limit our mind. Every single one of us has a screen in our mind. And this is what we call imagination, which is basically another dimension which sits just on top of the physical world. Everything down here in the physical world was pulled out of this higher dimension above, the imagination. In that dimension, we exist as a spirit or an astral body. That's what we call it. In this dimension, you have no limitations. Anything you think is what you become as an astral body. So think of it like this. A thought is just a thought alone in the mental plane. And then the body of a thought is imagination, which is the astral plane. And then the body of the astral plane is the physical body. So in the physical world, we're basically living in crystallized thought. Our consciousness operates in these higher dimensions. We do not operate in the physical dimension. That's what the brain is for. The brain is the computer to decode the commands from the higher dimensions that you exist in. We come to the physical world to place restrictions on our minds so that we can learn, experience pain. We can't experience pain in these higher dimensions. You return to this astral dimension every single night when you go to sleep. This is why you can't punch people in your dreams. And this is why when you fall off a building, you feel nothing in your dreams, because it's not a physical dimension. So we come down here to place restrictions so that we can actually learn more about ourselves, restrict ourselves, and experience the God consciousness in physical form. 666 is not what you think. 666 is 3 sixes. The number 3 represents thought, emotion, action, the 3 aspects of creation. That's why we have the Holy Trinity. Father, which is the beginning of creation, thoughts. The Holy Spirit, which is love and care, emotion. Thinking with the love of the heart, the Holy Spirit gives birth to perfect action. Action is a male force, that's why it's a sun. The number 6 represents the physical manifested world, matter. We are in a 6-sided cube. We can move up, down, left, right, backwards and forward. This is why God completed physical creation in the Bible on the 6th day. 6 represents the physical world, 3 represents the 3 aspects of creation. You become the beast, 666, when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are only going towards physical pleasures and the ego, completely shutting yourself from your spirit and your true divine nature. You act like a beast in the animal nature, only chasing material things instead of chasing spiritual things and higher consciousness. They made you scared of all the sacred symbols. That's why Scared Rearranged is sacred. They don't want you researching these symbols because they unlock profound teachings about yourself, on how you can go from matter into spirit and become a powerful being. They want you trapped inside of the box, the material plane, living in fear and operating on the surface level of your consciousness and being dominated by external influences. What if I told you you had the power to create your own reality? And you can only do this by mastering yourself. No external God is coming to save us. We must save ourselves. Adam and Eve is an encoded story about your incarnation. When you were born, you have a pure consciousness. You expressed yourself freely. You contained the spirit of life, so much joy and love. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions were unified, never contradicting each other. You never took action on what you felt was wrong. You were never racist, stealing from others, and did anything you knew you felt was wrong. Once you grew older, your mind became aware of good and evil and polarity within the world. You started to suppress aspects of yourself so you can fit in with society and friends. Your own consciousness started to split and create false versions of yourself. You started to wear masks so you can interact with the world. And you lose the spirit of love and joy in your heart. This is symbolic of eating the apple and leaving the Garden of Eden, which is even. Leaving your even, balanced, unified consciousness. Eve is feminine. She represents your internal world of spirit. Adam's masculine. He represents the external world, physical actions. That's why he eats the apple. Leaving the Garden of Eden is symbolic of leaving your authentic self. The world, society, and our environment starts to corrupt our mind and heart. Our actions go against our internal guidance of goodness. The return to the Garden of Eden is an internal process of purifying our mind and hearts and unifying them, where we think with the love and guidance of the heart, which gives birth to perfect action. And if humanity all does this, we would all create heaven on earth. God stands for generator, operator, destroyer, the mind, soul, and body. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. The generator is thought, the beginning of all creation. The operator is emotion, what we feel, and destroyer is action, the physical body. These are the 3 forces that you generate your experience and life. You think something, if you care about it, you take physical action towards it. The body follows the heart. If you lose care watching this video, you will take action and keep on scrolling. If you do care about the video, you will continue to watch. This generates all creation. The Father is thought. The Holy Spirit is our emotion. This is feminine. And the Son is born from thought and emotion, because the sun represents a masculine quality, which is action. This is why the Freemasons place an eye in a triangle. It's the 3 aspects of consciousness unified. They teach you must gain full control over these 3 forces to generate a good experience and reality. This is the reason why most religions have a 3-fold God. You do not actually think thoughts, you receive them based on your mindset. If you only think about surviving and eating and sex all the time, you tune in your mind at that frequency and you receive thoughts that are similar to that frequency and topic. That's why it's a mindset. If we reprogram our mind by repeating certain words and doing rituals with our mindset on a certain topic, we tune in our mind to a different part of the mental plane. Your mind is connected to the collective mind. All information, all knowledge already exists in this infinite dimension. So if we purify our mind through affirmations and ritual work, you will start to receive thoughts directly from your higher mind. What we think in our mind directly corresponds to what we feel in our heart, and then we take action based upon what we feel. By purifying our minds, we receive genius and better ideas, which then create emotion and urge in our hearts. Then we take action upon it in the physical world. If you want to improve the quality of life, you have to improve the quality of your mind. You are basically a radio. Whatever you set your mind to, that's what you receive. The Book of Wisdom will help you understand. Have you ever seen the Freemasons' 33rd degree symbolism? Well, today your mind's going to be blown by breaking this symbol down. This is what we call a complex symbol. Many different symbols used together to create a greater meaning. The first thing we notice is the eagle. The eagle can fly in the air and it looks down upon the earth. It has a higher view of reality. In this degree, it represents a heightened understanding and view of self. They understand their true nature as pure consciousness and the origins of consciousness and the human mind. The eagle is free to fly around and do whatever it wishes, representing freeing the mind from the earthly-based survival low-level consciousness. The eagle is standing on a sword. The sword moves through the air. Air corresponds with the mind. Water corresponds with emotion. Fire corresponds with spirit. And earth corresponds with the physical body. The eagle standing on top of the sword represents control over the mind. The eagle is superior to the mind. The mind does not control the individual at this degree. They have gained self-mastery and power. If you hold a sword, you have power over someone. The eagle's using the sword, representing using the mind and the mind not abusing and using you. This is a symbol of self-control and personal power. The eagle looking to the right is looking into the future. The eagle looking onto the left is looking into the past. This represents analyzing the knowledge of your past and the actions that have led you to this very point, and what you can do now to change and create a better future. A triangle with the number 33 inside of it. 3 represents transformation. This is why Jesus was in a cave for 3 days. Because the number 3 represents thoughts, emotions, actions, the 3 forces we hold control over in this life. In order to achieve this level of understanding of reality and personal mastery over the mind, you have to gain full control over thoughts, emotions, and actions, and transform the self through these 3 transformative forces. The crown represents royalty. Royalty controls society, representing control over the self and the mind. Also represents the crown chakra, which allows light and higher thoughts to enter our awareness, our conscious mind. There's so much more that goes into this. Make sure to follow me for more. Have you ever wondered why they make us write with our right hand? The left brain is connected to the right hand and the right brain is connected to the left. Being right hand dominated strengthens the left hemisphere of our brain. I think this is done intentionally. The brain functions in a very mysterious way. What you see in your reality enters your right hemisphere of the brain. The right hemisphere produces a perception of everything unified and holistic. The left hemisphere takes this holistic perception and breaks it down into individual sections. Without the left brain, we wouldn't be able to break things down and manipulate things and analyze. The right brain sees the woods, left brain sees the trees. School teaches you everything is an individual topic. Everything is told to you and you do not think for your own inside school. As you grow older, you keep this mindset of everything being logical and divided, as well as using our right side of the body more heavily. This traps us in making us think everything is divided. Maths, geometry, science, all these things are divided in our culture because we're all left hemisphere dominated pretty much. When in fact, everything comes from the one God mind. All things are manifested in this world by the one mind of God. Everything is one. We are all one consciousness experiencing in different bodies. To align the brain hemispheres, we need to understand that yes, there is a collective consciousness and there is also your own personal consciousness. Every action, every decision you make, you need to keep the collective and your own personal life in mind. And that is pretty much how you align your brain hemispheres and see reality for how it truly is.
I just shattered his energy fields. What I did with my psychic energy, now you're strong. What I did is I played with your energy field. Your energy field, your aura out here. Raise your arm. You test strong. I'm playing with your energy field. I've just shattered your energy field and you can't hold your strength. I realign your energy field and you're strong. You with me?
Sir.
Okay. Now I came up in front to align your energies. But if I come up and back, you're weak. If I go down and back, you're strong. So it's telling you the energy is going around your body, not just up and down. You follow what I have?
Yeah.
So you know martial arts?
Yes, sir.
Doing all this stuff, they're not saying, "Hi, Stevie, have you had a good day?" They're trying to mess with your energy fields.
You get charged in a court because you're a battery. And when you get charged, you sit in a cell, a battery cell, because you're a biological battery. If that guy's one hand can misalign your energy field and weaken your body, now imagine the clothes that you place on your skin, fake polyester clothes. The devices we use every single day. All of these things are weakening our energy field, which weakens our health and our body. World War III will not kill you. You die every time you sleep. Your consciousness is eternal. The universe is one giant cycle. The season yearly cycle represents a daily cycle. Spring is the sunrise, summer is midday, and winter is the nighttime. The yearly cycle is a daily cycle. Macrocosm reflected in the microcosm. This is why we say sleep is the cousin of death. Because sleeping is a smaller version of death. Death is the big version of sleep. When you sleep, your consciousness enters the astral plane, which is a non-physical dimension that exists in your mind, your imagination. Your mind does not operate in the physical dimension, which means you are not this physical body. Nighttime is death, daytime is life, the wintertime is death, and the summertime is life. You are an eternal consciousness experiencing a temporary body. You will never die. You can only take knowledge after death. That is the true currency of this world and universe. The Egyptian gods never existed. They symbolize different body parts of your body. The ram sphinx in Egypt is symbolizing the hippocampus and the brainstem. This god is Osiris. Osiris is the god of the dead. He does not represent physical death. He is the symbolic death of your consciousness and spirit. He represents the reptilian brain stem, the part of the brain that does not think. It acts on automatic responses. Most people in the Matrix are stuck in this part of the brain and don't even realize they exist. They're living life on autopilot. It represents the death of your conscious awareness and your spirit. Osiris goes up to Aries. Aries is the spring, the first sign of the zodiac. This ram represents Aries, the awakening, the spring. Spring is when the sun brings everything back to life. Lamb or Aries is symbolic of resurrection and new life and awakening. So we have Osiris, the brainstem, the unawakened consciousness, death. Aries, the hippocampus, using the higher brain, awakening of consciousness. The ram sphinx in Egypt is showing you the resurrection of consciousness, waking up and realizing you possess awareness and you're no longer ignorant of life.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon. Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
The best place to hide the truth is in plain sight. This scene in the Matrix is showing you we live in a mental universe. The world outside you is not fixed, shaped and transformed by the mind. Look around you. Every object you see was a thought, then it came into a physical reality. We think it, we imagine it, the astral plane, we give energy to it, we take action upon it. The physical world is a shadow of a higher dimension of thought. While most people are stuck in the Matrix reacting to the external world outside them, they're just creating a cycle of negative manifestation. Reacting to the world will not get you anything. Your thoughts and emotions and actions all need to be commands to shape the world. Mind manipulates matter. They do not want you to know that consciousness and matter are directly linked, and consciousness holds the power of a matter. You are the Baphomet. Baphomet is a symbol. Fire is your spirit. The earth is your physical body. Fish gills represents water, that's your emotion. And wings flap in the air. Air is your mind. We're looking at the spirit, the mind, the emotion, and the physical body. These are the four bodies of your soul, represented by the four gospels of Jesus. The moon represents your psyche and emotion. The moon on top represents lack of self-control. The moon below represents control over your psyche and emotions. This gesture is as above, so below. Your internal world of thought and emotion produces your external world of your physical life. The goat head represents your lower thought, your lower mind, base level earth survival consciousness. The fire represents your higher mind, your elevated creative mind. Do you live in beast consciousness or God consciousness? Baphomet is not inherently evil, it's a neutral symbol, and it's showing you the two paths that you can take in life. You either master yourself and gain self-control and reach your higher mind, or you live in spiritual deadness in an animal beast-like uncontrolled consciousness. Stop thinking this symbol is evil. You have to understand everything has been inverted in today's world. Women hold the portal into the physical world. That's what the Egyptian Ankh is. It's the portal. The Egyptian male wore the headdress to symbolize the woman because they are the master builders that create the human temple. The human body is created by the 12 zodiacal astral forces. That's why your body's made out of 12 cell salts for the 12 zodiac signs. She harnesses the energy of the 12 constellations and the 7 planets to manifest your body. She is a womb man, and she is feminine, which is 9. And he is masculine, which is line, which is 1. 0 and 1, the binary code of all creation. This is why there are 10 numbers. She is curvy and he is liney. Feminine quality of consciousness is being hidden and suppressed. They want you stuck in thought and action, and no feminine emotion, because emotion is where we gain empathy and care for one another. They have suppressed the feminine quality of consciousness, emotion, empathy, and true care. This is why everyone is so divided. Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was to cover up emotion. It's all just male dominated. Even the Jesus cross is lines and no curves, pure masculine. What is the symbolic meaning of Jesus being the Son? In the occult traditions, truth is never handed to you using ordinary language. It is concealed behind layers of symbolism. By veiling the truth behind symbols, it forces the initiate to turn inward, to reflect, to question, and to decode. This inner process awakens consciousness and promotes inner realizations. So what does the sun represent inside yourself? The sun rises every single morning, waking everyone up in the world. This is symbolic of self-realization and becoming conscious that you possess consciousness. The sun is the life force for all living beings on the earth. The sun gives all of its life and all of its energy and expects nothing in return. This is symbolic of true care and unconditional love. The sun represents love and care. All things are created through this generative force. This is symbolic of holding love in our mind and love in our hearts. This is the true Christ consciousness, love consciousness, because we are all one consciousness separated in individual bodies, and love is the unifying force that brings us all together. This is a surface level explanation, but in summary, Jesus as the sun represents self-awakening. It represents going within and awakening to your true spiritual nature as pure consciousness, not the body. It represents living in love consciousness, a mind and heart and life that is rooted in love and care for one another and the self. Jesus Christ is not a figure to be worshipped, but something to construct within our own mind and hearts. You care about discovering your true power? Join my private community, Ethereal University. Satan does not exist. It is a force of consciousness. The devil has veil within it. We live in a mental universe. Everything exists in the mind. God represents awakening the mind, expanding the mind, creating with the mind, caring and loving for one another, growing the mind, freedom of the mind, and spirit. The devil is the complete opposite. Or Satan represents the forces that conceal people's minds, restrict people's minds, destructive thoughts, emotionless, decay, limiting the mind and material reality. The devil is just a force of someone else placing veils or obstructions in your mind to keep you limited so they can use you for their advantage. Satanic people do not worship the devil. They worship themselves, and they have no care for anyone else or the collective consciousness. A satanic person uses occult and psychological knowledge against you to use you to create their reality. It's all about serving the self and not caring for the collective. This symbol does not represent the devil. Upwards pentagram represents spiritual principles over earthly principles. Inverted pentagram represents material principles over spiritual, ignoring spiritual principles of connection with others and the divine, and only serving your physical body and egotistical needs. Satanism gives the illusion that it's going against Christianity, so they're always one step ahead. They're actually manipulating you and serving themselves. You are born into sin. Sin is the sine wave. Everything in creation does the sine wave. Midday, midnight, summer and winter. DNA, the dollar bill. The sun does a sine wave. You are born into a dualistic reality. Before you were born, you had a unified consciousness. Then you manifested into a dualistic reality and divided into a spiritual being and a material being, to light and dark, good and evil. Your consciousness split. You are born into the sine wave of a dualistic reality. Freemasons use this symbol. G is the generative principle. This is the secret power to create anything in your life. The generative principle is about creation, genesis, or generation. All creation requires this one generative force. That force is love or care. If you care about football, you will generate that reality. Think, feel, and act towards it. If you don't care about football, you will not generate that reality. We all care about staying in our homes. Therefore, we use our thoughts, emotions, and actions to generate money. When we have a child, we care for them. We generate their life and look after them. All of creation is based upon this generative principle. The sun cares, therefore it gives all of its life and energy to the earth to make sure we live. Trees make sure the trees next to them are all healthy because they care and send minerals to each other. Are you starting to get the point? All creation demands a care or a love energy. In life, you create what you care about. If you don't care about something, you do not create that reality. This is the most potent force in the universe. In order to create something long-term in your life, you have to care about it. Now you are aware of this, you can use this to your advantage.